Starting with the 12th unit of the 12th class, we aldehydes, ketones, and carboxylic acids. So in this case, first of all, we will be taking aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes and ketones, they are the isomeric compounds. The general formula CnH2nO. For aldehydes, value of N is 1 onward, and for ketones N is 3 onwards. So first member of aldehyde is SCHO, while those of ketones is CH3, COCH3. Second member can be obtained by adding CH2 to this H, we get CH3CHO. Again add CH2, you get next member. In ketones, add CH2 on first side, it is our second keton. Add CH to this side, it is our third keton. Coming to their common and IUPAC name, common name of this is formaldehyde. It is acetaldehyde. Then we have propionaldehyde. IUPAC name of this is methanol, 1-carbonyl, ethanol, and propanol. Then we have common name of this is dimethyl ketone. IUPAC name will be propanone, 3-carbon compound, ketonic on. This is butanone or ethyl methyl ketone. Or it is butanone. Then we have diethyl ketone, or it is pentane-threone. Then we come to aromatic system, aromatic aldehydes having benzene ring. This is benzaldehyde, common as well as IUPAC name, they are same. IUPACically more correct, it is called as benzene carbaldehyde. Then we have some other derivatives. This is benzyl aldehyde. Or it is called as phenylethanol. Then we have salicylaldehyde. IUPAC name of this will be 2-hydroxy benzaldehyde or benzene carbaldehyde. Similarly, we have aromatic ketones. They may have aliphatic group one side, on the other side they have aromatic group. Common name of this is acetophenone. IUPAC name will be phenylethanone. Then we have ketonic group covered both sides by phenyl. It is diphenyl ketone or benzophenone. So this is regarding nomenclature of aliphatic as well as aromatic aldehydes and ketones. After this, we come to next structure of carbonyl group in aldehydes and ketones. As we know, any system having carbon double bond, carbon carbon double bond, or carbon oxygen double bond, where carbon must be in the sp2 hybridized state. So now let us see the structure of carbonyl group. As carbonyl group possess a double bond between carbon and oxygen, therefore carbon must undergo sp2 hybridization, producing 3 orbitals, sp2 hybrid orbitals. All of them, they are containing 1 electron each, and fourth p orbital, it remains unhybridized with 1 electron. This carbon forms 1 sigma bond with oxygen by overlapping of the sp2 orbital with p z orbital of the oxygen, and then we have, this might be py orbital, then we have pz orbital. It is overlapping sideways with the carbonyl group. So now, up to now, we have the structure like this. Carbon has 2 sp2 hybridized half-filled orbital. If they overlap with 2 R groups, then we get ketones. If it overlaps with 1 R and 1 H, then we have aldehydes. Then after doing the structure of carbonyl group, we know the polarity of carbonyl group. As we know, oxygen is the second most electronegative element of the whole periodic table. So whenever it forms bond with carbon, it will definitely try to attract electrons of the pi bond as well as sigma bond towards its side. Initially, these pi electrons were symmetrically between carbon and oxygen. When oxygen exercised its power, then electrons, they got tilted towards oxygen. Oxygen acquire positive charge, carbon acquire positive charge, oxygen acquires negative charge. So this carbonyl group becomes polar. Due to this polar carbonyl group, these aldehydes and ketones can undergo nucleophilic substitution reactions. Nucleophilic addition reactions, where nucleophile attaches and adds itself to the carbonyl systems. Now we first of all consider the methods of preparation of aldehydes and ketones. Some method we have already discussed in aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids. So up to now we know some methods. So we get now methods of preparation of aldehydes and ketones. First method is by oxidation of alcohols. When alcohols are oxidized with alkaline KMnO4 or acidified potassium dichromate, then they produce aldehydes and ketones. But in this case, what we see, the aldehyde and ketone, as soon as they are formed in the reacting vessel, they should be taken out, otherwise they will get further oxidized through carboxylic acids. So we are having here ethyl alcohol molecule treated with alkaline KMnO4. It will give you CH3CHO plus water. It should be taken out. Then we have isopropyl alcohol treated with the same reagent. We get acetone plus water. So they should be immediately distilled out. Once they are formed in the reacting vessel, if they are not distilled out, they will immediately change into your carboxylic acids. Alcohols can also be oxidized by using the PCC, that is pyridinium chlorochromate, that is called as PCC. So reaction can be same, CH3 CH2OH, nascent oxygen comes from PCC. In CH2Cl2, this will act as a solvent here. PCC is pyridinium chlorochromate C5N5 YCRO3 Cl. Pyridinium chlorochromate C5H5 NHCRO3 Cl. This is pyridinium chlorochromate, supplies oxygen and will convert alcohol into aldehyde plus water. Similarly, we have isopropyl alcohol. It will also change this compound into ketone. So this is our first method of converting alcohol into aldehydes and ketones. Then we have the second method, that is called as a name reaction, open air oxidation. Here higher alcohols, they are changed into ketones, and smaller ketones, they are changed into alcohol. This is our higher alcohol, pentane triol. It will be changed into the ketone, and acetone will change into alcohol. This reaction is brought in the presence of aluminium isopropoxide in isopropyl alcohol. So first of all, a complex with aluminium is produced, which is hydrolyzed in the reaction conditions in the presence of isopropyl alcohol. First molecule will change into ketone. Second molecule will give you isopropyl alcohol. So this is open air oxidation. Then we have third method, dehydrogenation of alcohols. When vapors of primary and secondary alcohols, they are passed over reduced copper at 573 Kelvin, they produce aldehyde. If they are having secondary alcohol, then product obtained is ketone. It is acetone. So this is dehydrogenation of alcohols to give you aldehydes and ketones. And then we have dry distillation of calcium salts of fatty acids. When calcium salts of fatty acids, they are dry distilled, they can produce aldehydes and ketones. So this is our fourth method, dry distillation of calcium salts of fatty acids. We have first of all calcium formate. This is calcium formate. It is subjected to DD, dry distillation. Then CaCO3 is eliminated. This goes out, you will get HCHO. Second reaction, when you have calcium acetate, it is subjected to dry distillation, eliminated CaCO3, and we get acetone. If both A and B, they are taken together. A is calcium formate and they are calcium acetate subjected to dry distillation. We get 2 molecules of ethanol plus 2 CaCO3 is obtained. So this is our fourth method. Fifth method is from carboxylic acids. 2 molecules of formic acid when taken, their vapors are passed over MnO at 573 Kelvin. Then product obtained is SCHO plus carbon dioxide plus water. If we take 2 molecules of acetic acid, vapors are passed over MnO at 573 Kelvin. Product will be CH3CHO plus CO2 plus water. If both A and B they are taken, HCOOH mixed with vapors of acetic acid and their vapor passed over MnO 573 Kelvin, we get CH3CHO plus water plus carbon dioxide. So this is our fifth method, getting aldehyde and ketone from the carboxylic acid. When vapors of carboxylic acid they are passed over heated MnO catalyst, we get this product. Then we have the next method, that is from alkynes, hydroboration oxidation of alkynes. Sixth method, hydroboration oxidation of alkynes. The alkyne used here is butadiene. 6 molecules of it are taken, heated with B2S6. B2S6 is known as diborane. In the presence of THF, tetrahydrofuran, it is used as solvent here. This will give you the mixture CH3, CH, double bond C, CH3. It will be attacking with boron. This is the compound which is formed. First of all, it is butyl tributyl boride. It is hydrolyzed with alkaline H2O2. Then product obtained is CH3CH double bond OH CH3, 6 molecules plus H3BO3. 2 molecules of boric acid are obtained, and this compound on tautomeragism this hydrogen will go to this and double bond will come in this direction. We get ketone. This is your butanol. So this method is used to prepare only ketones. It is not suited to get the aldehyde by this method. Similarly, if we are having 2-pentyne treated with B2S6, first of all, in the presence of THF, this is first reagent. Second reagent is, it is treated with alkaline, 6 molecule of H2O2 in alkaline medium. Then it will produce 2 products. It will give you pentane 2-on and pentane 3-on. Both products are obtained during the same condition. So this is hydroboration oxidation method of producing aldehydes, producing ketones. Aldehydes cannot be prepared from this method. Then we are coming to another important method, method number 7. That method consists of preparation of aldehydes and ketones through ozonolysis. We have studied this reaction at number of times. Ozonolysis of alkenes. Suppose we are having only ethylene, it is treated with ozone in the presence of solvent CH2, Cl2 or chloroform. It will first of all form ethylene ozonide. This ethylene ozonide, when treated with zinc and water, it will be giving you two molecules of formaldehyde. Lost H2O2 is lost here. If we are taking propene rather, it will be treated with ozone. Similarly, the molecule is broken from double bond. Then it is treated with zinc and water. We get loss of H2O2. We get CH3CHO plus HCHO formaldehyde. And if you are having butadiene treated with ozone, under similar conditions, you will get CH3, CHO, CH3. This is butylene ozonide. It is treated with zinc and water. When you lose H2O2, you get two molecules of acetaldehyde. To get ketone, we must have two alkyl groups on the double bond. So this is 2,3-dimethyl butadiene treated with ozone. It will give you CH3 twice, C ozonide. This is treated with zinc and water. You lost H2O2, two molecules of acetone, they are produced. So ozonolysis reaction, it can help us to get aldehyde as well as ketones, both compound, they can be prepared by this method. Then we have the next method, that is Walker process. It is a name reaction. In Walker's process, what is done? We take ethylene treated with water in the presence of PdCl2. We get CH3, CH2, CHO, CH3CHO plus Pd plus 2HCl. This is the product obtained here. And if we take propylene, we can get acetone from this. CH3, CH, double bond CH2, added water in the presence of palladium dichloride. We get CH3, CO, CH3, this is acetone plus Pd plus 2HCl. This is Walker's process. Then we have Rosenmund reaction. It is used for only aldehydes. Rosenmund reaction. Acetyl chloride is treated with H2 in the presence of palladium barium sulfate. Boiling solvent, it is xylene. It will be reduced to CH3CHO. H will go here, one H will come with HCl. Cl to give you HCl. Similarly, if you have benzoyl chloride, you will get aromatic aldehyde from this. This is benzaldehyde plus HCl. So this is our Rosenmund reaction. Then we have another name reaction of getting aldehyde, that is Stephan reaction. That is application of alkyl cyanide. When cyanides are treated with SnCl2 and HCl, they are first forming a reduct addition product, which is later on oxidized by water to give you the next product. So it is our next reaction, that is Stephan's reaction. Reaction number 10. Stephan reaction involves treatment of cyanides with 2 hydrogen and HCl. They come from SnCl2 and HCl. you will get product CH3 CH double bond NH not HCl treated with water to give you CH3 CHO plus ammonium chloride. So this is our Stephan reaction. To get aldehyde by this method, we can get aromatic aldehyde also. From this method, in place of methyl, you put here benzene ring or reagent, remaining reagent they remain same. You will get this product first of all, CH double bond NH dot HCl hydrolyzed with water to give you benzaldehyde plus NH4Cl. So this is called as Stephan's reaction. Then we have the next method, that is from esters which are having long chains. When they are treated with diisobutyl aluminium hydride, they get converted into aldehydes, CH3 CH2 9 COO C2H5. It is treated with the reagent diisobutyl aluminium hydride. This reagent is first treated, then the product is hydrolyzed by water. We'll get CH3 CH2 9 CHO. It supplies two nascent hydrogen and they bring the aldehyde and alcohol from this method. Then we have this is our 11th method from esters. Then we have the 12th method of preparing aldehydes and ketone by adding Grignard reagent to ethyl orthoformate. From ethyl orthoformate, this is our compound OC2H5. We are having 3 OC2H5 groups. This is ethyl orthoformate. It is treated with Grignard reagent. Now it will be eliminating a molecule of ethyl alcohol. We'll get CH3 CH OC2H5 OC2H5 and will be eliminating MgBr and ethoxy group. One ethoxy group is out. Then it is hydrolyzed with water. In acidic medium we'll get CH3 CHO plus 2 molecules of ethyl alcohol or chlorine. So these are the method to prepare your aliphatic aldehydes. Then we have some methods to prepare aromatic aldehydes and ketones. So 13th method is the method to prepare aromatic aldehydes, that is Itard reaction. Itard reaction involves the treatment of toluene with chromyl chloride CrO2 Cl2. It first combines with toluene, giving you a brown colored complex. This complex is hydrolyzed with water. It will give you benzaldehyde. Along with that you will get chromic acid, chlorochromate. So those products are unimportant. Second method of getting aromatic aldehyde, that is again from toluene. Toluene is subjected to halogenation In the presence of sunlight, loss of 2HCl take place. We'll get benzyl chloride. This is hydrolyte. 2NaOH, loss of 2NaCl will take place. Loss of water will take place. We will get benzaldehyde by this method. So this is from toluene. Then we have Gattermann-Koch reaction that involves the treatment of benzene. This is Gattermann-Koch reaction. Treatment of benzene with HCl and carbon monoxide, they produce HCOCl, which combines in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3 to give you CHO plus HCl. So we get benzaldehyde from this method. Then we have Gattermann aldehyde synthesis. Benzene is treated with HCN and HCl. You get product CH, double bond NH, HCl. Catalyst is anhydrous AlCl3. This product is hydrolyzed with acidified water. It will give you benzaldehyde plus ammonium chloride. So this is called as Gattermann's aldehyde synthesis, which gives us the aromatic aldehyde by this method. Then we have aromatic ketones. They can be prepared by heating Grignard reagent with cadmium chloride. When Grignard reagent CH3 MgBr, two molecules of it, they are heated with cadmium chloride. So Grignard reagent treated with cadmium chloride, we get dimethyl cadmium, which will be treating with. We get dimethyl cadmium from here plus MgBrCl, two molecules of it. Dimethyl cadmium treated with acetyl chloride. You will get two molecules of acetone plus CdCl. So acetone will be produced by this method. And we can also prepare aromatic ketones from your alkyl cyanide by adding Grignard reagent to it. We have done this preparation in alkyl halides. Then by Friedel-Crafts acylation, also produces acetophenone. Benzene treated with acetyl chloride in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3, loss of HCl, we get acetophenone COCS3. This is called as Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction. In place of acetyl chloride, if we take benzoyl chloride, then also we get benzophenone. Loss of HCl will take place under similar conditions. So these are the methods of preparation of aldehydes and ketones, both aliphatic as well as those of aromatic. Now we come to the next physical properties of aldehydes and ketones. The lower aldehydes are pungent smelling, while higher aldehydes they are less pungent smelling. Ketones are always pleasant smelling liquid, that's why they are used in number of preparations in cosmetics. And ketones, they have pleasant smell and they are liquid due to stronger van der Waals forces, while higher ketones are solid. Many saturated aldehydes such as nonenal, decanal, dodecanal, exaltone, they are used in synthetic perfumes. Then we have solubility of aldehydes and ketones. Lower aldehydes and ketones containing up to 4 carbon atoms, they are soluble in water due to hydrogen bonding with water molecules. Then solubility decreases in the higher member due to increase in van der Waals forces among their molecules. Then we have boiling point. Boiling point of aldehydes and ketones, they are always higher than corresponding alkanes or hydrocarbons because of their polarity. They form stronger dipole-dipole interaction. That's why they have more boiling point. Then we'll consider the chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones. That will be in our next lecture. Thank you very much.